The easiest way to lose something is to never realize that you had it to begin with. This is especially true about your rights, and conversely, the best defense against losing your rights is knowing them explicitly. Today I'm going over the Bill of Rights, and I hope to interpret it as closely as I can to the way it was intended by our founders, but I might get it wrong. It doesn't really matter if I do, because this is what I believe at my core, and if you believe it too, that's fantastic. I'd love to have you keep watching my channel. If not, well, there's no need for you to stick around. You can go. Anytime you find something you disagree with, I'm not changing for anybody. First, you have to understand where these rights come from. And it isn't from the government. They would have you believe that they grant you these rights as a boon, as a grand gesture of their love for you. But it has nothing to do with that. It has more to do with you being born with these rights. They're something that you have from the day you're born. In fact, some would argue that you have them from the date you're conceived. Some of them I would agree with. Soda. Yeah, that's right. Health nuts, go to hell. Excuse me. But we'll go right to it. The First Amendment reads, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. This pretty much means that you can say what you want, but the guy that you're saying it to, if he has a disagreement, he might just hit you. You can worship who you want, and there's no problem with that, so long as the way you worship doesn't interfere with the freedoms of others. And you can peaceably assemble and protest, or to petition the government for a problem that you have with it. The Second Amendment, which is perhaps the most controversial of all 10, is the one that supports our right to bear arms. It reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now this is so widely debated because people shoot people, and other folks, they're not big fans of that. So what did our founding fathers mean by that? I think they meant that we should have the ability to fight off our own government if they ever become oppressive. That's what they did, and it founded this country, and it kept us free for over 200 years. But I do have some quotes here on the matter, so I'm going to go ahead and read those, and I will leave links to these same quotes in the description below, so you can follow up and make sure I'm not bullshitting you, or not, and you can just believe me at face value. I don't care either way. Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, said, what country can preserve its liberties if their rulers are not warned from time to time that their people preserve the spirit of resistance? Let them take arms. James Madison said, oppressors can tyrannize only when they achieve a standing army, an enslaved press, and a disarmed populace. Another one from Thomas Jefferson is, the constitutions of most of our states assert that all power is inherent to the people, and it is their right and duty to be at all times armed. Sam Adams said, the Constitution shall never be construed to prevent the people of the United States who are peaceable citizens from keeping their own arms. The Third Amendment, also known as the Quartering Amendment, states that no soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. Which essentially means that it doesn't matter what's going on, the government can't put a soldier in your home without your consent. They can ask, but you don't have to say yes. The Fourth Amendment reads, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Essentially, this is the one that says that the police can't break down your door and come in and take your stuff or search your home without a warrant. There has to be a good reason for them to do it, and they have to have a warrant in hand to show you the probable cause. The Fifth Amendment. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger, nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. I just learned something new from the Fifth Amendment just then. I'll go over that in just a moment. What this one pretty much says is you are innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to a trial. It's pretty much your Miranda rights summed up in one amendment. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be provided to you by the courts. That's actually not in there, but whatever. I don't know that because I was arrested or anything. I just watched a lot of Law and Order. In any event, you've probably heard a lot of guilty people say, I plead the Fifth, which means that they don't want to incriminate themselves. It also gives you the right to not be tried for the same crime twice. And what I learned just now is, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. That kind of just defeats the whole eminent domain thing. It's private property and they're using it for public use without compensation. I'm pretty sure. I mean, they might pay you a little bit, but just compensation is kind of a fluid term. What do you value your property at? The Sixth Amendment. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process or obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel on his counsel for his defense. This is the one that says that you get an attorney. This is the one that says that you have the right to a fair trial. The Seventh Amendment is a lot like that one. In suits at common law, where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law. This pretty much means that you get a right to a fair trial in civil cases. You can be judged by a jury of peers. Blah 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 blah. I really don't know a lot about the Seventh Amendment because it doesn't come up a lot. Common law is kind of fluid. The Eighth Amendment is excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. This means that if you steal a loaf of bread, I can't cut your hand off. This ain't Aladdin, guys. And it also means that I can't charge, if I was a judge, I couldn't put an excessive amount of bail for a stupid crime or impose a really, really ridiculous fine for stealing a candy bar. The Ninth Amendment. This is a really, really good one here, and this is perhaps my favorite amendment. The enumerations in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. What that means is the Bill of Rights only lists some of your rights. Don't be confused, it doesn't contain them all. You have other rights here. You just have to know them. A lot of them aren't listed and they're not written anywhere. But they exist. It's up to you to find them. And last but not least, the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. That means that if there's something that's listed in the that's not listed in the Constitution and not strictly prohibited, it's up to the states to decide, or the people. We can have a general vote on it, or our individual legislatures can decide on the state level. It's a great separation of power. It means that we are separate states of a united country. That wraps up the Bill of Rights. Remember that in order to protect them, you need to know them. Whether you learn them here or you learn them in the link that I leave in the description below, that's up to you. And how you interpret them is also up to you. I'm Scotty. This is Scotty Talkz. I hope you enjoyed the new format. Every other episode is going to be just like this. Me sitting down. There's going to be no screen in the background, but you will notice this cool little piece of artwork up in this corner. It'll always say Scotty Talkz unless I start another web series. So if you liked what you saw, give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the section below. Find me on Facebook and Twitter, because I always announce when my next video is coming out right on there, so you never have to look for it. Subscribe on here, because I need the followers. And this has been Scotty Talkz. I'm Scotty. I'm done talking. Have a great day.